we seek to be astronauts and reach the moon, or fly through thin air, and who knows what else. But then time passes and we realize that we haven't accomplished these dreams and they still seem impossible, and there's not much we can do about that. But hope and imagination only make us human. There's nothing wrong with having an impossible dream and wishing it could become true. A lot of times, from what I've seen, we use the lack of resources as an excuse. To show you what I mean, I'm going to tell you the story of a friend of mine. Oftentimes I used to hear him say, "I can't draw." So people would go around and ask, "Why can't you? Have you tried? It's not that hard if you try and learn it." And then he'd come up with all these reasons like, "I don't have enough time or experience," or "I don't have enough money to buy that piece of equipment and I really need it." The thing is, resources may be limiting us partially, but it's not the end of the world. Another thing that I found is that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, restrict themselves from succeeding. They sabotage their own plans by saying things like, "I can't do this and it's impossible for me to do that." Our thoughts affect us more than we think they do. And while staying positive may be damaging sometimes, if you manage to stay positive and realistic, then you have nothing to lose. And yes, I say realistic, not because some things are impossible, but because sometimes we just don't have the things to do it. What I want to emphasize here is that something possible is not necessarily achievable. There's a key difference between these two words, although they are very similar. We can see that in the definition itself. Something possible is something that might be done successfully, while something achievable is most certain to be done so. Anybody can prove something is possible just by taking the first baby steps, because if there is a first step you can take, then there's a way that leads you to that very goal. Napoleon Hill stated that the most common cause for failure is one's habit of quitting when he is overtaken by temporary defeat. I think these are very important words. Motivation is what gets us started, but without enough strength and determination to keep going, we might never reach that end goal. Think of it as a staircase. Some steps are smaller, others are bigger, and there'll always be those steps that break underneath you no matter how cautious you are. You can always stop and take a break, with the chance of somebody bypassing you and reaching the top first. But if you start going towards the end of that staircase, you'll always be higher than before. Now let's take a famous person, Walt Disney. Everybody heard about him, right? Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, not to mention all the films that came out. But it wasn't always like that. When he first started, his films were rejected by many producers, and not even the public liked them at first. He suffered from multiple depressions that affected his career and his health, but he never gave up, and we can still see his legacy today, Disney World. So, if you have something that you're really, really passionate about, go do it. There will be challenges, there will be failures, but try not to give up. Because if you can overcome all of those, you'll reach that high goal you've been thriving for so long. Thank you.